What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Giants video, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts and reaction to the Giants' 10-7 win over the New England Patriots earlier today. Now, before I get started, make sure to like, leave a comment, and also subscribe, and let me know your thoughts as well. So the Giants won 10-7 in a pretty sloppy and rainy game. Now, I'm sure a lot of Giants fans are upset about the Giants winning today, since they want the team to tank. So I'll touch on that and why I'm not upset and I'm not in favor of tanking later on. But as for the game itself, the Giants' offense was stale for most of the game, and their only points came after interceptions, with their first score and lone touchdown of the day being set up by a pick from Bobby Okereke, and then the second score field goal was set up by a pick from Xavier McKinney, which was nice. And the Giants had 3 total interceptions, with the first and the other one coming from Deonte Banks. And the Giants' lone touchdown of the day was a catch from Isaiah Hodgins, which was also nice to see, considering Hodgins hasn't been involved much this season, partially due to all the receivers the Giants brought in, but also because of poor QB play for a while. So the big story from today was the breakout game that Jalen Hyatt had. He had 5 receptions for 109 yards, and it was great to finally see him getting involved. For the first 11 games, it felt like he would only have 1 to 2 catches at most and less than 5 targets per game. Even Kenny Albert, the play-by-play announcer today, said that Hyatt only had 11 or 12 receptions all season until today. Now, Hyatt is still yet to score a touchdown, but he has finally had a big role and impact on the game plan. So now, as to why I am not in favor of tanking, and I touched on this last week, but I'll discuss it again. First-round quarterbacks are no guarantee to be great, and there have been plenty of QB busts in the last 5 drafts. For example, I remember in 2018 when a lot of people said the Giants should have drafted a quarterback, and at the time I didn't entirely disagree with that concept, but 2 of the 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round that year were Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold, and both were bust, especially Rosen, who didn't last more than 1 year with the Cardinals, which was the team that drafted him, and he bounced around a few teams, and to be honest, I'm not even sure if he's in the NFL anymore. But Baker Mayfield, another one of the quarterbacks, hasn't necessarily been bad, but he's not really above average and has bounced around different teams since leaving the Browns a couple years ago. Granted, the last 2, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, have both been great, but then again, they both had a competent coaching staff in place on their respective teams when they were drafted, and the Giants at the time didn't really have a good coaching staff, so I'm not sure they would have become elite with the Giants. Then in 2019, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, was another guy who a lot of people said the Giants should draft, and he didn't even last more than 2 years with Washington before being cut due to poor play and off-the-field issues. Kyler Murray is and was decent, but he dealt with a torn ACL this past year and has been out. Well, he finally returned, but he missed a lot of time, and the Cardinals aren't really that good now anymore. And I think they currently hold the 2nd overall pick, so it's likely they'll move on from Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray hasn't really been bad at all. He's been decent to a slightly above average, but the team just isn't going to win a Super Bowl with him, and they kind of need a fresh start, and maybe he needs a fresh start as well. Now, the other quarterback, Drew Lock, was taken early in the 2nd round, not necessarily not in the first round like Jones and the others were, but Drew Lock is a backup now, and he was unable to beat out Geno Smith for the starting job in Seattle. And then lastly, from the 2021 draft, Zach Wilson, who went 2nd overall, has been terrible too. So I could go on, but my point is that no QB draft prospects are guaranteed to work in the NFL. Obviously, a good number of them do, such as C.J. Stroud, who is looking great with Houston so far, even though they lost today. and Joe Burrow with Cincinnati, although he's dealt with a few injuries here and there, partially due to his offensive line not being able to protect him, but that's beside the point. So what I'm getting at is that it will do no good to complain and be upset about their draft position, especially when we as fans have no control over the situation. As I said in my last video, let the chips fall where they may. If the Giants lose out, then great. They'll probably end up with at least a top 5 pick. But if not, and DeVito continues to show promise, then great. He could potentially be the long-term option at quarterback if Daniel Jones doesn't perform well next season. And the Giants then could use the pick instead on an offensive lineman or a top wide receiver available, such as Marvin Harrison Jr., for example. But that's going to do it for this one. As I said in the beginning, if you're new here, please subscribe, drop a comment, like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.